Hey everybody, welcome to another Photoshop CS6 tutorial. And in this tutorial we're gonna keep on working on editing faces with different tools. And this time we're gonna work with the spot healing brush. And the spot healing brush, you may think, is a lot like the healing brush and may have the same features, and you would be correct if you thought that. So that's cool. Good job, guys. And but there is a big difference between the two tools, in that the spot healing brush, you don't have to take a sample of the area you want to correct or restore or whatever. You're just going to brush on, and it's going to take the surrounding pixels. And we're also going to improve a little bit on our last image, in that, to make it look a little more realistic and keep some of the features that make the person who they are. And in the last tutorial, what we did was we ended up merging these two, and we completely got rid of the facial features underneath the eyes. Now, what if your client doesn't want you to completely get rid of these? So how do you do that? I'll show you that as well in this tutorial. So let's first start with the spot healing brush. So it's over here, and it's the first one on the top. It's the band-aid with the little dotted line around it. Now let's go ahead and select our top layer. And what the client wants is for these laugh lines to be a little less, or not the laugh lines, these face lines here to be a little less, and to get rid of some of these wrinkles on the side. These I think these are called laugh lines. So make sure you have your brush on as a soft brush. So something like 10% is good, and then of course you can adjust the size to whatever you need. You don't want to make it too big or too small, because then it won't work. So what we're going to do is just click and drag. You can see it makes like a black image there, and let go, and you can see we've taken some of the stuff out. You can go ahead and do this on the side again, and that one didn't work too well. See if we can do it again. The nose there, so I have to make this a little smaller. Use my bracket keys to make this a little smaller. There we go. And they're gonna start looking weird because they're gonna lose all their facial features. So you have to do this a few times and mess with it, because you're gonna get some of the other stuff blending in. There we go. You're gonna get like you saw how like the lips were blending in and everything like that. You don't want that. So we got some here. Get rid of that stuff. Now I was talking about the client doesn't want everything all blended out. So now if you keep on doing this, the face might start looking a little like a mannequin or a mime or something like that, or a mannequin, yeah, with no real facial features. So what we're gonna do now is we can go ahead and blur this a little bit. You can't really see much happening, but the stuff is actually happening. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna lower the opacity here, so we can add some of those facial features back in. Now, if I lower it all the way, you can see they're coming back in, and then let me just not lower it all the way. So there's 75%-ish right there, and that's how you bring those in. So let me check out the top up here on the options and see what we've got. We have the different types here. These right here to the left are blending modes. We have different types for the spot healing brush: proximity match, create texture, and content aware. Now, content aware is the best in my opinion, because it's more intelligently chooses how to replace and to blend in the textures here. Proximity match was available before CS5, so in CS4 and before. So pretty much it's the inferior version of content aware. Now, it still works fairly decently, but I would always use content aware if I were you. Now we have sample all layers. Now why would you want to use sample all layers? Now I can show you that really quick. So what we're going to do is turn off that layer, and I'm just going to create a new layer, and it's going to be empty. So I'm going to click on sample all layers now. Now with that on, I can sample the background layer while not having any more information than I really need in the top layer. So if I just go like this, you can, oh, well, obviously I went like way too close and everything, but let's try something else that's a little bit easier. My brush is probably too big. Yeah, brush is probably too big. Make that smaller. But as you can see, I'm able to sample from the picture on a layer that isn't doesn't have any information in it besides transparency. And then I'm now adding these new parts into this layer. And that way you don't take as much out in your, or you don't take as much RAM and everything, and you keep your file size down. So that's one reason you would want to use the sample all layers. I'm just gonna take that out because I did a fairly shitty job when I was doing that. I was just trying to show you really quick, but like I showed you before, you just want to maybe bring down opacity and everything when you're combining your layers, so that you can bring in some of the features that define what the person really looks like. You don't want to completely blow out all their features unless they really ask you to. So maybe they really hate the bags under their eyes and want them completely gone. Then that's when you would do something like that. So that's it for this tutorial with the spot healing brush. It's good also for things like acne or blemishes, because you can get them in just one click sometimes. If you have make your brush just as big as they are and then click, it'll take it away pretty good. I like it a lot and I use it on that all the time. So thanks for watching this tutorial, and experiment with ways to how to use your spot healing brush to clean up people's skin and other imperfections in images. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one.